A very happy birthday to our MPCC President Sri Nanaji Patole today. A very warm welcome to all of you who have joined here today. As you all know, today is a World Environmental Day, so a warm greetings to you all on the Environmental Day also. So Maharashtra Pradesh Congress Committee Legal, Human Right and RTI Department presents to you Zoom webinar on the topic Law and Policy Talk Series 2021. This is a third episode, and I'm very happy to tell you that we got a very good response and people have really liked. So we are really grateful to all of you all for joining here today. And today we are going ahead. We have two eminent speakers whom I will be introducing shortly. And the topics they have chosen is governance, and the other topic is cultural policies in India. So with this, I also wish a very happy birthday to our MPCC President, Shri Nana Potale ji, a very eminent leader. And we have with us now Advocate Asif Qureshi, Chairman of MPCC Legal. MPCC Legal, our chairman, has done great work for our MPCC department in the last almost 5 years. He'll be completing soon as far as membership, legal aid, and such good work we are doing for the humanity and for people who require legal help. Under the leadership of Asif Ji Qureshi and guidance, we go ahead with this program, and I request him to please give us his address and welcome speech for today's event. So with great honor, sir, I welcome you today.
Thank you, Gauri Madam, Vice Chairman, MPCC Legal Department, very active and very social worker of Congress. जब भी याद करो तब हाजिर रहती है Gauri Madam. And since last 3 Saturday, she is taking a lot of pain for organizing this webinar series. And this is the third series. She is holding a webinar on Law and Policy Talk Series 2021, and this is episode number 3. Today's topic is governance, cultural policies in India. First of all, I welcome all the delegates, all the participants, and all the dignitaries here in this webinar. मैडम, सबसे पहले मैं आज हमारे एनवायरमेंट डे, पर्यावरण दिवस के अवसर पर सभी को, जितने भी पार्टिसिपेंट्स हैं, जितने भी यहाँ पर हाजिर है हमारे ऑफिस बेरर, मैं उनको सभी को बधाइयाँ देता हूँ, शुभेच्छा देता हूँ। साथ ही साथ इस वेबिनार सीरीज के थ्रू मैं हमारे एमपीसीसी लीगल डिपार्टमेंट की ओर से हमारे जो अध्यक्ष है महाराष्ट्र प्रदेश कांग्रेस कमेटी के अध्यक्ष नाना पटोले जी, उनको भी जन्मदिन की हार्दिक बधाइयाँ देता हूँ। आज इस अवसर पर इस प्रोग्राम में जो हमारे चीफ गेस्ट है संजय अशर, जिनकी जो फर्म है लॉ फर्म क्रॉफर्ड एंड बैली, जो सबसे पुरानी हिंदुस्तान में सबसे पुरानी लॉ फर्म है, 1830 से लॉ फर्म काम कर रही है, और संजय अशर जी इस फर्म के पार्टनर हैं। मैंने इनके बारे में पूरी जानकारी ली है और मैं समझता हूँ कि आज जो हमारे गेस्ट है बहुत इनकी ये जो भी हमें बताएंगे, जो भी गाइड करेंगे, आज वो हम लोगों के सभी के काम में आएंगी। साथ ही साथ मैं सिमरन आहूजा, उनका भी इस महफिल में स्वागत करता हूँ, इस वेबिनार में स्वागत करता हूँ। वे यहाँ पर आई है और अपने शब्दों से, अपने विचारों से हमें नवाजेंगी, ये मुझे उम्मीद है। और हम लोग आपके शब्दों से आप जो भी हमें बताएंगी, हम समझेंगे ये हमारे लिए आपका गाइडेंस रहेगा और हम इससे कुछ सीखेंगे, क्योंकि जो टॉपिक मैडम ने रखा हो, इट्स अ वेरी गुड टॉपिक। मैडम, हार्टिएस्ट कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशन टू यू फॉर ऑर्गेनाइजिंग दिस वेबिनार। और मैं दोनों ही हमारे जो गेस्ट है उनका दिल की गहराइयों से स्वागत करता हूं। और इसी के साथ ही जो मैडम ने जो ऑर्गेनाइज किया, इसको, इस वेबिनार सीरीज को मैं इनॉग्रेट करता हूं। थैंक यू। जय हिंद, जय महाराष्ट्र।
Thank you very much, Chairman Sir Asif Ji Qureshi, for this wonderful warm welcome to all of us. Friends, as you know, we are going to very soon introduce you to the guests, and we are going to have a wonderful session I would request all of you to please go on the chat and comment. How do you like it? Comment the questions if you have any queries. We are here to answer you. So our speakers are here to answer you. So please go to the chat and whatever you feel about it, please do comment, ask your questions, be free, and you will definitely get all the answers. So let me go ahead with today's very brilliant, learned sir, the senior partner of Messrs. Crawford Bailey and Company, which is India's oldest law firm established in 1830. Mr. Asher holds a bachelor's degree in commerce and a bachelor's degree in law from the University of Bombay. He has been a practicing advocate since 1991 and has admitted as a solicitor in the year 1993. He is also a qualified chartered accountant. He has been noted speaker at various seminars and conferences and of course webinars, including those organized by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Institute of Company Secretaries of India. He has authored several publications published in national and international publications, including authored a book on Companies Act 2013, which was published by CCH Walters Kluwer publication. He has also been a member of Primary Market Advisory Committee set up by SEBI to make recommendation to SEBI on policy matters pertaining to development of primary market in India since September 2011 to December 2017. Further, corporate bonds and scrutinization advisory subcommittee set up by SEBI to specify disclosure and other requirements for issuance and listing of municipal bonds. For the Bombay Stock Exchange Committee for revision in prices for certain companies listed and traded on Bombay Stock Exchange. The most important, the committee formed by the Government of India Department of Disinvestment for the purposes of standardizing the transaction documents in relation to privatization of public sector enterprises of Government of India. And also described as Project Fire for the purpose of development of security law bar in India. The project was Indo-US joint project aided by World Bank. Members of the Project Fire included lawyers, US lawyers, executive directors of Securities Exchange Board of India, and much more. Of course, with these few words, he has also been a director of many companies. Sir, we are really very proud and privileged to have you here today. I'm really honored. And with these few words, I'm sure we are all waiting, very much eager to hear you, your expertise, your valuable inputs, what you're going to share with us. With great honor, sir, I invite you to this platform of the webinar. Over to Mr. Sanjay Asherji.
Thank you, Gauriji, for your very kind introduction. It was a lengthy introduction, but I'm grateful to you and to the MPCC for inviting me to address or discuss the issues relating to governance and what does governance means, and as to what are the pillars of governance, and as to for in every walk of life we need governance. Now we have what, 20 minutes for the purposes of my discussion?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
yes, sir, 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay, fine. So what is governance? It's very simple. We start our childhood, and the moment we are born and the moment we are of 2 years old, our parents, grandparents, relatives all teach us certain fundamental principles of life as to how to lead life and how to be on, etc. The point is, governance is what? Governance is a discipline. Governance is transparency. Governance is following the rule of law. Now, what are the pillars of governance? Now, there are certain 8 characteristics or pillars of governance. What is it? Participation. If there is a committee, participation would mean that everybody should participate in that particular topic or in that particular item of business or in the objects of the committee or objects of any work which we want to do. So therefore, it would mean that it should not be ruled by one particular individual or by a few individuals, but it should have participation from all people who are involved in that particular project, in a mission, in a company, in a committee, in whatever aspects of that particular project. Then comes the consensus orientation. What would that mean? You have participation from everybody. There always would be some views. There always would be contrarian views. There would always be aggressive views, and there always would be conservative views. Now, what does governance entail? Governance would entail that there has to be a consensus approach and an approach whereby the decisions are taken in a very consensus manner rather than one faction or an individual or a group of individuals trying to bulldoze a particular decision. Because everybody is working towards a particular goal, a particular mission. The mission has been established. And now one has to execute that particular job or that particular mission. And so therefore, you should have participation from everybody. You then have to have a consensus approach. That would mean that you take everybody together in order to decide a particular question or to address a particular goal or to address a particular mission. Then comes the accountability. The moment you are implementing a particular project, whether it is for the family, whether it is for a group of individuals, whether it is a non-profit making organization, whether it is a profit-making organization, whether it is a sports team, whether it is any musical orchestra team, it has to be, everybody should be accountable for their role. And that body, in turn, has to be accountable to public at large, to the statutory authorities, to the stakeholders. So what does that accountability mean? It would in simple language means, if your father has given you 100 rupees in your childhood as pocket money, you are accountable to your father, you are accountable to your parents, you are accountable to your siblings as to what are you spending, to put it in a very simple language, in a very crude language. That did you waste that money on smoking? Did you waste that money on gambling? Did you waste that money on something else? Or did you spend money on something which was productive? Now, it is too far-fetched to say that for a pocket money as to how do you make him accountable for the purpose of spending that 100 rupees. Damn it, somebody would say it is my pocket money. Why do you have to bother about it? I can spend the way I want. But in order that a person becomes a good citizen, a better citizen, and therefore accountability is needed. And accountability is needed right from the time a person, an individual goes to a school and he is accountable to every single step or every single action of his. As to how is he accountable for time, how is he accountable for any pocket money which he gets, how is he accountable in case he's playing a game. And in case that particular governance is instilled in an individual right from the time he is born or right from the time he goes to the school, then you get good citizens, you get a country which is then developed into a very, very a better country which has a lot of governance and which follows the governance to the last possible dot. What else forms part of the governance? Transparency. Whatever you are doing should be completely transparent. Thanks to internet in the last 10 years, in the last 15 years, thanks to the engines such as Google, that the moment you want anything, you immediately get it. Now, transparency. Any action which you do has to be completely transparent. It cannot be that, look, you hide something or you don't disclose something because you are not asked to disclose. Even if you are not asked to disclose something, you have to be forthcoming and being transparent on anything which you do. And transparency also is an important facet. It's an important characteristic of governance. Now, what does one mean by governance? In case of the companies, in case of businesses which are run through the company mechanism, they have what is known as the corporate governance, in which every single action of the board of directors, of the management, of the committees have to be completely transparent and disclosed to all its stakeholders. Now, what would the stakeholders mean? It would be shareholders, it would be employees, it would be vendors, it would be suppliers, it would be customers, it could be anybody who is assisting or who is part of the business. And therefore, transparency is extremely important. Now, one would say that how would one use that transparency in a daily life? Even in our daily life, between husband and wife, between father and son, between mother and son, mother and daughter, father and daughter, everybody, that there has to be a complete transparency in order to lead a good governed life. So therefore, transparency, whether the point being, whether it is in your private life, whether it is in your public life, whether it is in an organization, transparency also forms an important facet or important pillar or characteristic of governance. What else forms? Responsiveness. In case anything has to be responded, it has to be responded A, in a complete manner, and B, it has to be responded as quickly as possible. One cannot get into a slumber and they say, oh, you sent an email, I'm so sorry, I did not look at it. Oh, you've done this, but I did not respond to it. Because time is an important factor, and therefore responsiveness is also an important facet or an important character of governance. It is extremely important that everybody is responsive. Now, in a committee, if you will always find that, look, there could be some people who may not be responsive to any items on the agenda or any point of discussion. And therefore, responsiveness is also an important facet of the governance principles. What else is there? Then you have effectiveness and efficiency. Anything which you do has to make an impact, has to make an effect. And at the same time, it has to be done in an efficient manner, and it should bring efficiency in that particular project or that particular mission or that particular goal which you want to accomplish. So effectiveness, which would mean that it should have an effect. Now, if you are following all the principles of governance, obviously there would be a good effect, a positive effect, a long-lasting effect, an effect which is going to help all of us. Another thing is efficiency. These are the days where one has to be extremely, extremely efficient. We have all the gadgets, we have all the technology, we have all the support. Today, even during these trying times during COVID, because thanks to the technology, thanks to the platforms such as Zoom and Teams, etc., that one can carry on the business, one can carry on his normal life with efficiently. And therefore, efficiency is extremely important in governance as well. What else forms part of the governance? Equity and inclusiveness. Now, what does that mean? That would mean that everybody who is part of the project should feel that, look, I have some interest in this. I have some equity in this. I have some stake in this. That would help. That would help tremendously for the purposes of getting a better governance, so that he is also part of the profit or loss, the advantages, the disadvantages, which are getting for the project which is getting implemented. So in other words, it is extremely important that everybody who is part of that particular project, that particular mission, that particular entity should have an equity in that. And at the same time, inclusiveness. That particular individual, whether he is an accomplished individual, he is not an accomplished individual, he has some shortcomings, he has no shortcomings, etc. But everybody has to be given equity. Everybody has to be given equal role, or the role according to that particular person's capability, ability, so that the governance is achieved. And then finally, you have the rule of law. It's extremely important to have a rule of law in relation to the governance. Unless and until you have the rule of law, good governance will never be achieved. And what does a rule of law mean? Now, United Nations has defined the rule of law as a principle of governance in which all persons, institution, entities, public or private, including the state itself, are accountable to laws that are publicly promulgated, equally enforced, independently adjudicated, and which are consistent with international human rights norms and standards. It requires as well measures to ensure adherence to the principles of supremacy of law, equality before law, accountability to law, fairness in the application of law, separation of powers between the participation in the decision making, legal certainty, avoidance of arbitrariness, and procedural and legal transparency. Now, of course, there is too much of good English involved in what I stated as to the definition of United Nations. But in simple language, it all says that yes, there has to be an accountability, there has to be transparency in implementation of the law, understanding of the law. There should not be any discretionary element involved, arbitrariness which is involved. So therefore, rule of law is an extremely important aspect of governance. Now, the World Justice Project has provided certain principles in case of rule of law. What is that? That the government and its officials and agents, as well as individuals in private entities, are accountable under law. In other words, everybody has to be made accountable in law. There cannot be an exception. Nobody is supreme. And in order to have a good governance, there has to be an absolutely accountability under law. What is the second principle? The laws should be clear, publicized, stable, and just, and are applied evenly. It cannot be that they are not applied evenly. Further, it should protect the fundamental rights, including the security of persons and property, and certain core human rights. Civil liberty is one of the important human rights, and that also has to be protected for the purposes of maintaining good governance. What else is there? The process of law by which it is administered and enforced in a very fair, efficient, and a quick manner. As we all know that there is an old saying that justice delayed is justice denied. And therefore, in order that one gets justice, it has to be done in an efficient manner, in a timely manner, in a fair manner, in a transparent manner. Also, it is said that, look, it is not that justice, it should be seen that justice has been delivered. It can't be that, it cannot be seen that the justice has been delivered. And the next one is, of course, which I have covered just now, that justice has to be delivered in a timely, competent, ethical, independent manner through adjudication process, which is transparent and which is independent. Now, these are the pillars of good corporate governance. Now, as I said in the beginning, that governance is in relation to any business entity which you do. In case it's an NGO, good governance also applies in case of an NGO. It can't be said that, look, I'm an NGO, I'm doing good work. That doesn't mean I have to get 100 on 100. One doesn't get everything on 100 on 100. But as I said, effectiveness, efficiency, transparency, inclusiveness, equity, togetherness, consensus decision, all of that forms part of good governance. So whether it is a business entity, a corporate entity, a NGO, whether it is family, whether you are participating or whether you are part of a film-making process, whether you are part of an orchestra, with anything which has to, a goal has to be achieved, in which event the governance applies. Because today's day and time, what we hear in governance is only in relation to corporate governance, only in relation to entities which are listed on stock exchange and which are business entities. In my view, governance is not only that, it applies from the time when you are born. A father's duty, it's not only duty of the parents, but it is for the purpose of good governance for leading a good life, in which event all of these facets will also apply. So the point which I'm trying to make here is that governance applies in every facet, in every walk, and every moment in our life. Further, if I'll just touch upon one particular aspect, which is the concept of ESG, environmental, social, and governance. Now, ESG is the flavor of the day. Now, today is the World Environmental Day, and we are all responsible to answer to our future generations and also for our own well-being, the importance of maintaining good environment. Now, good environment, today, since it is a World Environmental Day, I'll just touch upon the environmental part of it. It's our duty to protect good environment which we have, and we should not allow it to deteriorate. I'll just give you one example on that. Now, we would have visited, most of us would have visited the wildlife parks which are there in our country. Now, I'll tell you that if you go for any game ride, you will not find a single litter in any of the wildlife parks. Not a single, for example, Bisleri bottle, not even a wrapper of a Mentos or of a chewing gum or a Parle G packet ka wrapper, anything. The guide, okay, who take you around the park, the moment they see even the smallest of the smallest wrapper of any chewing gum or of any toffee, they would get down and immediately pick up and put it in their pocket to ensure that the environment is maintained. This is in jungles, nobody is there to monitor them. And yet they ensure that the wildlife is not disturbed. The wildlife does not get affected because of this litter which human beings create. So environment is important. The other one is the social. We all have to see to it that the social culture, the social environment is maintained. Between the have and the have-nots, one has to work together in order to see that the social life or the social culture of a country or of a nation is very well maintained. And the last one is the governance. Governance is an important thing. Transparency, accountability, togetherness, inclusiveness, unanimous decision, following rule of law is all have to be maintained. In case you get all proper marks in ESG, you've achieved everything. And there are entities which monitor all the business entities which follow ESG. If you follow ESG, then you are a good entity. You may not be making the best of the best profits in the world, but at least you are following ESG, you are following governance, and you are a better citizen, you are a better corporate citizen, you are a better individual in relation to life. Now, I was told that I have 20 minutes. It's past 20 minutes. I would be happy to take question answers. I know that the topic is such that which is mundane topic. One does not like that topic. You will say, okay, damn it, it is my life. I would want to lead the way I wanted. Whether I want to wake up in the morning at 10 o'clock or I have to wake up in the morning at 6 o'clock is none of your botheration. It's my life and I will follow. But this aspect also comes because in case we want to make this particular world as a better place, then we are accountable. We have to follow governance, whether in our private life or public life, wherever we are involved. With these few words, I don't want to be looking like a preacher. I don't want to be looking like somebody who's laboring the same point again and again. But I would be very happy to take up any question answers which would come up. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And I hope that I've been able to explain. But I would be able to take question answers and maybe clarify whatever I have stated.
So question and answers, sir, we will be taking it after the Simran's talk. It will go in common.
Perfect.
So then
I would end my discussion here, and we can further discuss in detail during the question and answer session. Thank you very much.
Thank you for such valuable input, sir, and governance and all the details what you have given us. I would request our General Secretary Vishwajit. Vishwajit, over to you.
Yes. Hello. Yes, sir. I thank you to Honorable Sanjay Ashir sir for giving such a wonderful speech and a great guidance. Thank you, Sanjay Ashir sir, and it was pleasure to felicitate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vishwajit.
Thank you. Thank you for the privilege.
So we will be going ahead with our second speaker. Before that, I would like to once again remind you all of you all who have joined, to please give your comments and to please on the chat box ask the questions. It will be answered by our experts here. So we go ahead with another eminent speaker, a fashionist, diva beyond bounds, Miss India 2013, multifaceted magnificence, or a multitude of resonating talent are the idioms that strike the mind when one mentions this distinguished achiever, a masterful craftswoman in so many immeasurable assorted genres that even the best in the business take inspiration and pay respects in utter admiration. An entrepreneur at aviation, an illustrious author, a folk dance icon, a brand ambassador to numerous entities, recipient of countless prestigious awards, including the Dada Saheb Phalke International Film Festival Award and the BRICS Award, an eminent doctor in naturopathy and an international yoga icon, popularly known as Simran Ahuja Yoga Lover. As the cultural ambassador at Paris, she takes the cultural dance of India to several countries and has been judging several competitions all across the globe, including USA, having won 18 consecutive folk dance titles in India and America. She's known as Queen of Folk Dance. She has also done her master degree in finance. So there is lots and lots, but we can't go a long way. Her biodata is very, very long. But lastly, I would like to Simran Ahuja, Miss India 2030, a true woman of substance who truthfully personified the thought with her remarkable deeds that she still has miles to go before she sleeps. Over to our very eminent, very beautiful, not only just beauty, but brains also. We welcome you with great honor. Simranji, are you there? I welcome you to please give your address.
Very well. Thank you so much. That's really extremely kind of you. Thank you so much. This is an honor to be here.
danced for 18 years and I won consecutive 18 titles. The biggest title in the country, entire India, was Queen of Sankalp. I didn't know anything, so I was like a free bird who just goes, anywhere to play. And we won the prize as the best couple. And this was the starting point of the beautiful introduction to this dance of the universe. I got so many prizes, so many gifts. My entire car was full of gifts. And I'm calling and I'm telling my brother, you know what? I want a trip to Europe. I'll be going to Europe. I became the cultural ambassador for several countries. For the first time ever, in the heart of Paris, we had Navratri celebration with the French people. I had this guy, 6 feet tall. So he was jumping, he came and he hit my hand and I fell off. I realized that this is gone. It doesn't work. I can't move my wrist at all. In college, people laughed at me because I didn't have the right accents. They said you come from a vernacular medium. How I got into the world of emceeing was a miracle. Since the past 3 years, I've been doing 500 events minimum in a year. Could be 2 countries in a single day, 2 cities in a single day. And I owe it all to Ras Garba. It's these beautiful 9 nights journey, the 9 nights Navratri, really makes me travel into this lovely world and stays with me for the entire year. It is 30,000 people dancing at the same time. We all connected to that divine love and we all having 30,000 smiles which spreads in the world.
Thank you. That's really kind.
That's really beautiful. And once again, it's a proud privilege to have with us Simran Ahuja, who will be addressing us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Absolutely an honor. And I'm sincerely apologetic for all those who mentioned that the audio is not clear, but you can definitely watch it on Shemaru. So even the song Diwani, Garbani, as well as the film Dance Like a Goddess, the entire documentary film, which is 25 minutes, as well as in Gujarati language, it's on Shemaru. As well as, since I've started with this, you can also watch my cultural songs right on Shemaru, as well as on T-Series, that is Garba Gujarat, and on Tips as well, released just a month back on the 10th of April. So I'm thankful to all of you, and thank you for allowing me to speak something very, very close to my heart. We're talking of the cultural policies in the country, and I'm honored to be here at first. Big celebration and birthday wishes to our esteemed dignitaries. A very, very happy birthday to you, dear sir. And thank you very much to Sanjay ji for the governance, because it is, of course, a part of our lives. As you said, since we are almost 2 years, we get to know what is good, what is bad, what is right, and what is wrong. So thank you for the clear thoughts. And of course, we have a couple of questions which will be raised to you, including me as well, post the cultural policies. I'm also going to thank everyone for being here, and especially the lovely lady advocate Gauri Chabria for this wondrous invite. So starting from something which is very close to my heart, I had no idea about the cultural policies until I got into the beautiful folk dance. So we all know a little bit of why and how I got into the folk dance, as it was truly a miracle. But talking about, right from the financial support, because the most important aspect comes is the financial support, as far as, protecting and spreading our beautiful culture as well as heritage is concerned. So talking of the UNESCO, which gave us this idea of the cultural policy in the 1960, and they came up with how to save, our museums and, how to really bring about saving our rich culture and heritage, be it, of every country, every state, every city. So it starts from the international arena, goes to, the national arena, or it could be, the state level or the regional level, where we promote and facilitate the cultural diversity and the creative expressions in a range of art form. It could be, the creative activities, right from painting to sculpture to, of course, the dances, the several dances, of a country. It could also be through filmmaking and television, because I think filmmaking is the best and the greatest medium to spread love all across the world by letting people know about the rich culture. Travel has been, on everyone's mind and hearts, except for since the past couple of months, where we always talk of the rich heritage. So which are the heritage places we want to know the moment we think of the travel? And I've been extremely fortunate because every time I get connected to the art and culture, it's extremely special. So Madhviji, thank you for the lovely message. So let me thank you for being here with us. She was a great support to us when we came up with the cultural form of dance for Sindhis on the 10th of April. Madhviji was the one constantly for 1 month. She did everything right from the arrangements so that we could also, show the world the cultural dance of Sindhis, which is truly not known, even to our own Sindhis. So that is the form of Chet. So thank you for that. And thank you for the lovely message. Talking of how we can all be a part of it and the cultural policies we, have, in the country. Of course, we do have a lot of schemes, a lot of help, right from schemes for pension and medical aid to the artists, which is helpful at this point of time. So I mentioned it towards the beginning. The scheme for the promotion of culture and the financial independence to save the science and the culture of a country, the cultural heritage and the youth leadership programs, which is great because Gauriji has a great experience of spending 19 days in a beautiful European country with her niece. And Gauriji, I envy you for this, that I couldn't go for this. So when I wanted to go for a cultural exchange cultural program, I went for the auditions, and let me be very honest, I was not selected. But it's a great honor for me to be the cultural ambassador now for several countries to represent the culture of a country, the folk dance of a country, including yoga as well. So of course, and we do have schemes of scholarship and fellowship for the promotion of the art and culture. It's been very, very special, because the cultural policy really protects and encourages and financially supports all these activities. So it is our responsibility, every individual's responsibility, especially on a day like today, where we're talking about this, which is the World Environment Day, where we're all looking forward to saving our planet Earth because we have no other place to go besides our own planet Earth. So that is the need of the hour. And the only thing that we have to do is come together and be a part of it. Sanjayji very well spoke of, the beautiful places, the various places that we go, that if someone sees a plastic bottle in nature, irrespective of anyone seeing or not seeing, thinking of the great values that one has, one really picks it up on their own. And of course, I'm just going to say a bit on that yes, of course, I've been a trekker, I've been a lover, a nature lover, completely known as the, the absolutely jungle queen. So we used to go to this beautiful place, which is in Mumbai city at Mulund, that is Yogi Hills, for a short trek. And, we're all used to, having the litter around, but we do have these beautiful souls, irrespective of whether one is seeing or not seeing, they carry, a backpack every day on their back just to protect the environment and to pick up litter. And it really amazes me that how can people do such great work? And of course, this is a great learning experience. So it's very, very important for us, right from saving the environment to the culture and heritage. And it is a matter of, humble attitude, a matter of pride to truly spread the culture, one's culture across the world, to bring peace and unity. Something which was very close to my heart was, allowing the entire world to celebrate. Like we have a celebration, a birthday celebration, where Gauriji wished our dignitaries. I always wanted to be in a part where I could celebrate something with the world. Talking of the world's richest heritage, which is our own Taj Mahal, where I had the beautiful opportunity to truly represent India on an international arena after winning my beautiful Miss India title in 2013, where I represented India on an international platform at the Niagara Falls in New York. It was very special for me when they asked me that, what is it that I need to talk about my country. I took this beautiful monument, a mini basic baby monument of the Taj Mahal. And trust me, Gauriji, and to everyone around, when I spoke to them about the significance, when I spoke to them, about the love of the monument of the Taj Mahal of, Shah Jahan sir and the Mumtaz Mahal, and spoke about this personification of love, it amazed everyone. They said, all right, so we call India a spiritual country, and we call India, where it's all about being humble. So it is all about, being in love, their love personification. So is it that they come from here? Is it that it comes from this rich heritage? So it really amazed me, the way our culture, spreads and goes beyond boundaries, at the same time enriches everyone's heart and soul. Because as we all know, art and artists have been a very important aspect in our life, irrespective of what is going on in the world. Even at this point of time, we do a lot of virtual shows so that we can bring in that happiness. So it's absolute of great importance for all of us. And we have all these beautiful organizations who are of great help to us, right from ICCR to, of course, the several tourism boards, and to the respective honorary consul generals to promote the culture of every country. It's been absolutely a phenomena for me. So talking of the Taj Mahal, that is how it started. And when I got into this beautiful form of Garba, in the millennium year 2000, and I won this a beautiful prize, trip to Europe, was the time for me to analyze that what is it that I want to do in the world, and how is this cultural dance of great significance, and I wanted to spread it to the world. So I remember being in Zurich in 2001 when I was traveling on my own. So at that point of time, of course, I couldn't afford, traveling. Thank you, Advocate Raviji. Traveling on my own to Europe, it was just a dream come true, and thanks to our forever legend Yash Chopraji's films, which always make you dream of Switzerland. But I was completely overwhelmed, and I said, no, I want to do something for our culture, something for our folk dance, and take it, across the borders. So when we were at Zurich, where we had half a day time, where, it was a trip, it was a tour for 42 people, where I was the only one who was on the house since I'd won the trip. So thanks to Thomas Cook for the lovely Queen of Sankalp title that I won by Devendra Joshi ji, who gifted me this beautiful title. I went to Zurich studio. I went to a studio in Zurich because I couldn't afford buying a watch at that time. So it was time given for shopping. And I spoke to them that I'm here, not for an exchange program, but I'm here to represent my folk dance. So is it possible for me to take a workshop? It was 5 p.m. at that time, and they said 5:15 is what time our class starts. So will you be able to do a workshop for 15 minutes? We'll ask the instructor to allow you 15 minutes. And that is how it all began. I said, I don't want money. I want nothing. I just want to spread and tell people and actually make them feel and practice the dance form. And this is how it started. And since then, every single time, because I've been very fortunate to having traveled more than 36 countries for my work of emceeing and as Miss India, where I go and I represent my country. So I always make it a point to always take my culture along with me, to spread it to the masses, and of course, to spread in a unique way. So when I was offered in 2015 to be the cultural ambassador for Paris, for the next year, for 2016, it was extremely special because this was the oldest cultural center in the heart of Paris. It's 100 years old, Gauriji, and where we have the Garba celebration every year, because we have the Gopio, and the several organizations who organize this beautiful culture. It's in the outskirts of Paris. So this is the oldest 100-year-old culture where I was invited. So even when I went for my visas, I was heartily welcomed. And, at the embassy, when I showed them my book, titled 9 Nights Navratri, which is the first book in the world on this cultural form of dance, and why I penned down this book, was very, very special, which I will share with you. So when I went there, it was very special. It was only the French people that we did, this cultural form of Dandiya, the Ras, the Garba, as well as yoga. So since I was there for 2 days doing the workshop, as well as celebrating Navratri only with the French people, absolutely a proper event, how we organize a huge Navratri in this oldest cultural center was extremely, extremely special. And it takes you on a natural high altogether, because you know that you're doing something, where you're representing the beautiful culture and the heritage of a country. So this is how, everything came to me, and I learned about a little bit policies, a little bit on how to really spread the culture to the world. And I've been very, very thankful to the several tourism sectors, for helping me grow. At the same time, for several consul generals of several countries, all the His Excellencies and Her Excellencies who be of great help to me and who keep inviting me every now and then, either as a jury to represent, to judge the folk dance competitions in their respective countries, as, of course, an ambassador, a cultural ambassador of our country to represent the folk dance and yoga, or it could be, of course, as a Miss India representative. So it was, again, pretty much interesting how I came up with this cultural book and how the Gujarat tourism helped me promote it. So again, I was, to represent India on the international arena for my beautiful, we have a talent round, a day prior to the grand finale. I performed my Garba, which is very close to my heart. At first, they were fascinated by the outfit. And after that, when I spoke about the spiritual significance, all the beauty queens of respective countries were in awe. And they were like, really? Is this how it is? Thank you, Jyotiji, very kind of you. And they wanted to know more about the significance, the spiritual significance of this beautiful dance form that is Navratri, what we call. And this is how, when I explained to them in very, very brief, they said, why don't you pen down a book on this? Because we can't really find a lot of information, a direct information on Google on why we should be a part of this dance form. I said, yeah, because when I spoke there, I said, I want everyone to join me for the last 1 minute in this dance form, because, of the unity and because of what this dance form gives to the world. So everyone was completely overwhelmed, and they said, that you're the only one who took us in this dance form, because this dance form is age no bar, weight no bar, and all you need is, thank you, Girdhari sir. Oh, wow, Girdhari sir spreads the beautiful Sujok therapy to the world, and it's such an honor for me to be here. And thank you for allowing me to do your shows as well. So
Simran, can we take questions?
I mentioned to the world that we all have to come together and, of course, be of this beautiful dance of the universe is what I call it. It's very rich culture from India. So if you want to learn ballet or you want to learn any classical form, you need to be of certain age, you need certain flexibility, and you need, to be in certain shape to learn a kind of, dance form of a world. But for any folk dance, age is no bar, weight is no bar. So even if you weigh 400 pounds, you can still be a part of it. All you need is a smile and a good heart, an open heart, and you need to just clap. And this is how
Simran, can we take questions now
to the world? And I got to know about several policies. So of course, these are certain aspects, but I've been a part of it, representing India at Dubai for the past 6 years, for as a cultural involvement, and being as a jury in the United States of America. So when I penned down the book 9 Nights Navratri, my publisher said, who's going to think of this book, and why would one need a book on this dance form? I said, because it is the dance of the universe, and it's very, very special. It's titled as 9 Nights Navratri, and I said, I want this to go to the world because it is our rich culture and heritage, and it should be spread. And this is got to spread because also of the exercise. Now all over the world, people love to exercise, right? And this is something that I experienced. I said, there is no dance form which has, in a rhythmic way, right from lunges to squats in a rhythmic way. So you're enjoying and you're not realizing you're exercising, but you're just flowing with the rhythm, with the music. And this is the beauty of the folk dances across the world, which I would like to spread. So after my book, when I went to Gujarat Tourism, they were extremely happy. And I've been very, very fortunate because they immediately invited me for the lovely event that we have in Gujarat, a huge event in the month of Jan. And my tickets were all booked, but 2 days prior to the event, it was supposed to be launched by, of course, now our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and then our former CM. But because of the protocol he had,
because, the elections that were on the rise. Just 2 days prior to that, it was mentioned that he shall be unable to attend any public function. And the following year, it was launched by the former Chief Minister of Gujarat, Srimati Anandiben Patel. That's 9 Nights Navratri. So I've always been in touch with them. And the only thing is, yes, you need to know about certain policies where I'm here, when I'm going to ask
Simran ji, can we
Gauri ji
please go
to help me
with
regards
question
this
answer
and
sessions?
go ahead. So thank you, Gauri ji, for allowing me to share my bit of the cultural, form where I have been a part of this art and cultural form, as well as Gauri ji, I would like to mention, something very close to my heart again, that is yoga, where my Guruji, Sita Ma and Nikam Guruji are my Gurujis. They mentioned to me that spread yoga to the world. And I had no idea why they said that, because I was not really very keen. It was not something that really made me very happy. But of course, the moment I got the opportunity and I realized, that was giving health to the world was completely unbelievable. So Gauriji, exactly last year, when we had the lockdown started, for consistently 5 months, we had yoga live sessions on Facebook, that is titled as Country Club at Your Doorstep, as their brand ambassador and cultural ambassador. And you will be amazed to know, when we started with 108 Surya Namaskars doing live, so I would go live for nonstop 2 hours, 2+ hours, doing the 108 Surya Namaskars along with the chanting of 108 names of Sun God. Now, this was always my dream that, besides doing the 108 Surya Namaskars, which I always do, I also wanted to do the chanting, because in case someone is, 60 or 50 plus, or 70 plus, and they don't want to get into the Surya Namaskars, how would they benefit from it? So they would just benefit by doing the chanting of the name of Sun God, which gives you the power, which heals you, which gives you that energy, the vitality, what we call it. And it was absolutely amazing, Gauriji. It amazed all of us without doing any promotion, without letting anyone know, just by word of mouth. We had 2 lakh people, 0.2 million people from all across the world. So people who were Japanese, beautiful people who were never on Facebook, joined Facebook because they wanted to do, and they enjoyed the chanting more than the Surya Namaskar, because as a form of exercise, we all know the Surya Namaskars, but what fascinated them was the beautiful chanting as well as the Surya Namaskar. And people who couldn't really do any workout earlier, towards the end of 5th month, where we had these 2 lakh people doing live with me, right from South America to Australia, to, all the various countries of the world, which is a live thing. So we all have the messages. Everyone enjoyed doing yoga. So I think it gives me great love and warmth. And talking of the cultural policies, the ICMR also does a lot of support for us. And, whenever you talk of the culture, it's every single country, as I said, of course, they're consul generals, but the press and the media are of great help to us. So I was invited by the BBC London to spread our beautiful culture of India. That's the folk dance, regards the book 9 Nights Navratri. And I had this beautiful interview where I was invited by them. And I must really congratulate and thank our film world for adding a lot of and spreading a lot of culture and heritage to the world. We are sitting at home at the same time doing something to spread it to the world, and bringing, the country's diversity, the cultural heritage, and of course, the ethnic and the linguistic spread to the world is extremely special for all of us. So Gauriji, the fact that I'm here talking about the cultural policies, I know only till the bit about my experiences, though I've done law for 2 years. I must also mention this just for the sake of it. And but of course, I'm here to learn more from you and Sanjay ji and all our dignitaries who've joined us here, more about how can we really avail and be a part of this beautiful and avail of the cultural policies and get to know the rights of an individual regards the cultural policies and governance in a particular country. Thank you and love you all, Jai Hind.
Thank you so much. That was really, really very nice. And I request Salim Khan to please felicitate Simran Ahuja. Mr. Salim Khan, our Vice President of RTI Department. Are you there, Mr. Salim Khan?
Shukriya.
So anyway, I would like to felicitate you, Simran ji,
Hello.
with the appreciation
Thank you.
certificate. Salim, please come over.
Yeah.
This is Mr.
Simran
Salim Khan.
Yeah, Simranji, thank you very much for joining us, and we are really honored with your glamour and your experience in all the world and being Miss India, Hollywood actor, Bollywood actor, and you have been a great support for our meeting today. And thank you very much for coming and joining us. Thank you.
Very, very kind of you. Humble thanks to you and Gauri ma'am. And
Thank
we are
you,
truly thankful to
Simranji,
the
for
entire
all the.
Ministry of Culture, the Indian Council for Cultural Relations, and the Center for Cultural Resources, which truly help us take the culture to the world.
I would
Thank you.
request Sanjukta and Ashrafji to please come with the questions, and we are going ahead, taking another 15 minutes extra as we are over time. So I request
Yeah.
all of you all to please be there. Yeah, Sanjukta, come.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, Simran, for that wonderful talk. It was truly inspiring. I think I'll take the first question from the audience, which is, don't you feel that public should be made aware of the benefits of mudra yoga? People are suffering from depression, recouping energy, boosting immune system, saving self from heart problems, and many more health problems could be saved, could be solved without spending a single penny. So what are your thoughts on that, Simranji? If I could,
Sorry, I missed out. Is this for me or Sanjay sir?
yes, it's directed towards you, Simran ma'am.
Sorry. You know what? My volume went low somehow. I was just receiving a call.
Okay, I'll
It
repeat the
is
question.
she
Yeah,
is
please. Sorry.
she wants to let you know about the mudras, since it doesn't require money, and why should we not spread
The
The
mudra?
benefits of mudra
to the
yoga.
public?
Yeah, the benefits of mudra yoga.
You asking me that should we spread it to the world, or why should we do it, or what? What is the question?
Yeah,
Yes,
the
Beautiful.
question
we
is,
should do it. Why should we not do it?
Oh, we
yeah,
should
the,
do
the
it. And you know what is the best aspect about the mudras is just this, that okay, so let me be very honest and very open to you. I'm the brand ambassador, by God's grace, for 7 fitness worlds like World Gym, Retro Gym, and I've been representing country club, I'm talking about the fitness aspects. But at the same time, I don't like to work out. So I only work out when I'm demonstrating. So the only thing one could do is, so irrespective of whether, one has time or no, you could just do the mudras doing anything. So हम यहाँ पे बैठे हैं, हम यहाँ पे ज्ञान मुद्रा कर सकते हैं आराम से. So absolutely we should be doing mudras. And let me tell you, 15 minutes, अगर आप 15 minute mudra करते हैं in a day, even if you don't exercise now, a lot of times, when people are, especially in hospitals, when you really, maybe you can't work out, or maybe you just don't want to work out, or you just don't want to, you rather want to utilize your time doing something else, working rather than working out. This is what I always tell people. I prefer working to working out. Trust me, mudras work the best. The fact that you're sitting here since 1 hour, you could do all the various mudras and really gain out of it, gain momentum. And let me tell you, 15 minutes agar aap koi mudra karte hain, so you have immense benefits. And especially for all those who are, as I said, not in a mood to work out, or someone who's unable to work out, mudras work wonders. Does it work or no? 100% yes is the answer. We should spread the mudras along with yoga. As we spread the alternate medicines, we talk of naturopathy, we should definitely spread it to the world. And let's take this ahead and let's do a session where we can spread mudras to the world for sure.
Thank you, Simranji. This was Girdhari ji's question. I hope it was answered.
Girdhari is an expert
Panjwani.
himself. And we are spreading Sujok therapy to the world. Yes, Girdhari ji.
Also for Simran, ma'am, we do have another question for you also from the audience. Rita Panjwani ji wants to know, she says that you can speak English so well, it's hard to believe that you come from a vernacular school. Can you speak Sindhi too? Is what she asked.
Yes, very well, Majam. Tamam Suti Sindhi Galaindia. So the thing is that I don't come from a vernacular school, but we never spoke English in school. And when I went, because my first time in town was when I went for my admissions at Jai Hind College. So there, my accents were absolutely vernacular, and I'm, absolutely readily accept it. I accepted it at that time, and I accept it even now. But my Sindhi Tamam Suti Galaindia, and I speak several languages. So I speak a little bit of Gujarati, a little bit of Punjabi, and all the languages. But Sindhi, yes, I'm very, very fluent in Sindhi. Thank you, Panjwani ji. Absolutely a pleasure talking to you, sweetheart. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your answer, Simran ma'am. And one question is from me, of course, that I wanted to know, like, when your experience, like, you went to Paris for the cultural, to represent India in this beautiful folk dance. So, were there also any challenges that you faced, as in when you thought that maybe, oh, if it was a little different like this, or whether you were questioned by somebody, or something like that. Is there any such experience that you had?
In fact, it was the other way around. So let me tell you, this was very interesting. No, most of them didn't understand English and they didn't speak English. Okay, because they were all French, and except the coordinator, who had invited me as a cultural ambassador. So her name is Mahina Khunum. So you won't believe it. It was very hilarious. So even when they wanted to talk to me something, they would speak in their language, and I still remember saying "cuckoo, cuckoo, Simran." So that they really enjoyed and had a lot of fun. As we all know, that this is the best thing about art and culture, that it has no language, no barriers whatsoever. And it is all, personified with love. So if you have that love and that warmth within you, you can teach anything to the world. But I had no such experience, of difficulty or any challenge that I faced, because though they didn't understand, but it was all got to do with, the art form and telling them. And, all across the world, we are all used to doing, aerobics in a rhythmic way. So Zumba is there since a couple of years, but everyone knows, the beautiful form of, aerobic form that is in a proper block form. And I did a very smart thing, because I was mentally prepared that, the easiest way to teach, everyone across the world, all our, NRIs or foreigners, is teaching them the block form. So they'll pick up very quickly. So I did the same thing. I choreographed the entire thing in a block form, and I taught it to the world, taught it to them. So another experience is when I was in Singapore. So I did, this is in 2006, I did a workshop. So again, I won my best dance title in Garba, and I won a trip to Singapore. And I was invited, by the Singaporeans, and I was at California Fitness is the brand. And I took workshop on Punjabi pop, on Bollywood dance, and on yoga. Most of the Singaporeans, again, are very comfortable in their own local language. But because it is the dance form, and because I had an idea of how to teach in the block form, things were very much simple. So, they're not getting the rhythm right, but I'm teaching them in a proper 32 beat form. But when we do the actual song, when we perform on a proper Bollywood song, and we have all those jatkas and feelings, the Punjabi pop, all the bale bale, they all enjoy it so much, and they go on a natural high, because then you're on the beat, on the music. So though, most of the places, like in Sri Lanka, of course, they were very comfortable with English. Again, in Zurich, they were comfortable with English. USA, yes, most of them are comfortable. So irrespective of whether one speaks a particular language or no, with your love and warmth, and with the way of teaching, I think you can really win hearts. So it was very, very special, what I had with all of them. And I took 8 workshops. So I was in Dubai during the Navratri phase, doing my beautiful workshop as a cultural ambassador, where I was covered by, also on the cover page of Salt and Pepper, the Femina sub-magazine, on the cover page, known as the Dancing Queen. So I did my show there till 1 o'clock, and 2 o'clock I went to my hotel for the 4 a.m. flight, reached Paris at around, I think we landed at 10, and 12 o'clock was my first workshop. So hardly kept the bags, and it's been beautiful, 2 non-stop days of workshops celebrating Navratri only with the French people. And the next day morning, before I had my flight, we went to Eiffel Tower. Just 4 people could wake up, because, we finished the event at 1 o'clock there at midnight, and 4 people doing, live at the Eiffel Tower, and, catching a flight back home to do a show with all the Bollywood celebrities in Bombay, landed at around 2:30, and 6 p.m. was my show with all the Bollywood celebrities. So the dance I did with Imran Hashmi, Kaho Na Kaho, and, Madhuri Dixit ji, all of them were there. And then I had my final day competition at 11:30 at Sara Star Mumbai. It had Radiant Dandiya. So this is, something that you can do only when you love something. Why I mentioned all this to you is that irrespective of country, age, no matter, where you belong to or where you come from, if you just want to enjoy or smile, then the folk dance is the right way to be a part. You dance in a circle, just smile and just clap, and you will learn everything. Everything else, the beat will teach you, the rhythm will teach you, and by the grace of the goddess, you will learn. So Sorry, I went the
Thank
long
you
way
so
to
much.
want to tell you of different
So
workshops.
one
No,
question I would
I-
like to ask Asher sir, Sanjukta, I would like to ask one sir
Yes, ma'am,
to
please, ma'am.
Sanjay sir. As the pandemic time is going on, and as I know, as you are connected with the Hinduja Foundation and other foundations also, as I saw you in the Uddhav with our CM Uddhav Thackeray when he flagged off for the ration distribution. Would you tell me what your foundations are doing to help pandemic for the needy people? Something in short, sir.
Yeah, sure. I mean, whether it is the city of Bombay, whether the urban folks or the rural places, both the Mukul Madhav Foundation set up by Ritu Chabria and the Finolex group are doing, and along with the Hinduja Foundation, are doing tremendous work. They are spending crores and crores of rupees distributing the daily ration to the people who are in back of beyonds of Bombay, to all the rural places. They are ensuring that nobody sleeps without having 2 square meals of the day, and the entire family is taken care of, whether it is food, whether it is clothing, whether it is anything else. Apart from that, even they are providing medical help. For example, getting everybody vaccinated, the oxygen, the other drugs which are needed for the purpose of curing COVID patient. Apart from that, a lot of projects are being done in rural India where the medical help is not there. The newborn childs who are suffering from diseases which are curable, but unfortunate that they are differently able to help them. And they've been consistently doing it. I've been watching it at least for the last 12 years, that huge amount of efforts, time, money, energy are being spent for the purposes of during this pandemic time and even otherwise.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate both the guest speakers, especially because they are really encouraging their culture ushers when he's sitting in his hall or his office. Behind there are paintings which he has bought from the artists from Banaras. So it's really appreciating. As well as Simran, I see where she's sitting, there are 2 paintings of Hussein, very a good artist, as we all know. So it's really nice that we are ourselves encouraging our artists, and that is how it should be, whether it is a pottery or whether it is any monument or anything. But we should also take a little effort to help our artists, like the musicians. The Mukul Madhav Foundation, the other day I had been, they are helping the musicians who are not having enough income nowadays. So it's really nice thing. So, so I think we will end the question and answer session here. We are, as it is over time today. And I request Dr. Firdaus Shah from RTI department of our Congress, legal department, RTI department, to extend vote of thanks. Over to Dr. Firdaus Shah. Firdaus Shah, please.
Thank you, Gauri Chabria, for giving me a wonderful opportunity to compile and collate and say a few words about our esteemed speakers, to say a vote of thanks. So at the outset, I would like to thank Sanjay Asher, sir, senior partner of Crawford Bailey. Sir, from your looks, sir, I remembered Baman Irani, Dr. Astana in Munnabai MBBS. Sir, I also act with Baman Irani in Body Double. So I think in future, I would like to act with you, sir. So we both of us will act together. So that is, I remembered you for that, sir. Compliment to you, sir. And really, I just thought Baman Astana is actually present. Then I thought, sir is a speaker here. So I just totally got confused because I am always 4-5 advertisement, movies and all I've done with him. So I was just thinking in my mind that it just came up to my mind. And I would like to thank Madam also, Simran Ahuja. I remembered you as an actress in Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, Simran Kajol. So both the actors and actresses are here to for the talk. So actually you are playing a dual role. So I would just like to summarize what Dr. Sanjay sir has said. He gave us the concise and brief, sir, pillars of what our committees and how to reach the goals. So I would just like to summarize. The first, sir, says participation. Participation in all respect in any activity, it is a must. Then conscientious approach and decision making, working together, come together. That is what is called team. TEAM means together everyone achieves more. So that is the purpose sir actually gave us the inputs. Then accountability. In whatever work we do, everybody should be accountable. नहीं तो मैं कल करूंगा, आज करूंगा, कुछ नहीं करेगा, नरोवा कंजोरवा. Oh, somebody is doing, anybody, and ultimately nobody is doing, sir. So Sanjay sir has given a very good tip for that. And transparency. In every good governance, we have to be transparent. There should not be inside, outside it. That is why I just like to have one shairi here. कि रहने दे मुझे अंधेरों में वो गालिब, रहने दे मुझे अंधेरों में वो गालिब, रोशनी में तो उसके असली चेहरे नजर आते हैं. So whether it is रोशनी or अंधेरा, our face should be the same. It should not be a dual. पर्दा है पर्दा. So that we should not live into that. We should be always transparent, open-hearted. Then effectiveness. How it should be effective, he gave us the brief. Then efficiency in the mission, and equity and inclusiveness, because everything when you reach, you have to reach the goal, we have to be inclusive. Inclusive growth, as we say, financial inclusion in banking also, where all the growth for rich and poor should be all one and the same. So we are bringing that to the back to the nation, and that is how our Prime Minister mission, Atmanirbhar Bharat, is all going to take place. So we have to work all together for upliftment of the poor. In fact, I am now working with Dr. Muhammad Yunus, idea of 3-0 free world, sir. He has beautifully announced, I think, for Chabaria madam, I think just for your information and other participants. So it's a very wonderful thought. He says the world of 3 zeros. He says 0 poverty, 0 unemployment, and 0 net carbon emission. I think we all should MPCC to come together. I am also working on that mission of Dhaka, and I am trying to get our Muhammad Yunus on the platform also, if I am able to get, because I met him at Mumbai University and he spoke from the heart, and anything is possible. 60-70% of Grameen Bank and Bangladesh, he has already achieved. He says all men are born poor. So everybody, we should try to bring up the poverty and how we can take this Atmanirbhar Bharat. So that is the mission I think we can come about. And finally, sir said rule of law, publicized, stable and just in civil liberty. So these are the things sir has said. And finally, I like the sir of ESG, which sir said on today's Environment Day, that is environment, social and governance. Then wildlife, I think that touched my heart, sir, because we are having net carbon emission and how to bring the water resources and plantation together. As you said, a single litter is not there on our wildlife sanctuary. So that is how we should say, and come to Swachh Bharat movement. So everybody has to give that thing. And social and culture and for have and have nots. Again, that is what, again, we are going back to that zero free. And governance, accountability, transferability, transparency, and so forth, and better citizen in relation to life. So that was a very wonderful thought which you gave. So I would just like to say कि मैं तोहफे में हमारे संजय सर और सिमरन आहूजा को मैं क्या तोहफा में दूं. सोचा कि कुछ मंगवा फूल होता तो अच्छा फूल होता तो मंगवाता माली से, पर दोनों जन खुद गुलाब है, उसे मैं गुलाब क्या दूं.
क्या बात है, क्या बात है.
इरशाद सर, इरशाद. तो थोड़े थोड़े जरा जस्ट ये टू बिट ऑफ दैट थिंग. छाबरिया जी बोले थे आप शहर ही बीच में डालना. So I'm coming back to the Simran madam. You spoke wonderfully well about the cultural heritage, and you dance like a goddess. I think what is I say, you are the Garba queen. I have never seen the Garba queen. Only thing, apna one Garba queen is there. Gauri, who is that one Garba queen which dances at the day?
Falguni Pathak. She's a singer. Falguni Pathak.
Pathak, and I think that is what I observed. But I think now I will remember you also, Simranji. So very nice. It was a very informative. I just came to. Then you have with the yoga. Yoga is also must. I think 5th or 6th June is a yoga day international, which is that
The
day?
21st June. Sir, 21st.
21st
It's a 7th
June.
International Yoga Day, sir. So, yeah,
So I
I
think that is the thing. Our Prime Minister also participates, and that is also a. So
Sir, I
that
receive
also is a
reciprocation.
wonderful thing.
So true.
So you gave up about a cultural promotion, art and scholarship. I think anybody wants, I think we can approach Simran, that who all wants youngsters, youth and all, we can try to promote and develop that. And India is a spiritual country, very true. Always, that is why I'm doing the spiritual study on Buddha and Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. So I am doing a doctor of literature. If anybody can help me to get some diploma in literature, their doctor in literature can help me, Sanjay sir or Gauri sir or Simran ma'am. I just like to put why we are under stress. So I just got the message from that book, Essence of that Buddha. Buddha left the palace in search of peace. Buddha left the palace in search of peace, and we are in search of palace at the cost of peace. We are going in the two different directions. So that is why I tell the youth, I motivate them. I'm a motivation also international. So
Firdaus, please, you'll have to
Yes.
conclude. We are
Yes,
time up,
ma'am.
please. We have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
conclude.
ma'am. And she gave us the very beautiful thing, madam. You are actually Mumtaz. You gave us the Taj Mahal, which you have taken and just promoting Shah Jahan and Sanjay sir, Shah Jahan, you are Mumtaz. So two of my actors, I remember. So that was a wonderful thing. And you traveled to 36 countries, I just say. And you are cultural ambassador for Paris. It was and Gujarat tourism, where our Narendra Modi sir is there. You helped to promote you that book and other Garbas and Ras Garba. So thank you very much to both of you. So I would just like to conclude and thank to our Asif sir and Gauri madam also who are here to say that some friends are like Raymond shooting. They come since 1927 and go away. Some friends are like Union Bank of India. They come at 8 a.m. and go away at 8 p.m. night mein. But some friends like you, Sanjay sir, Gauri madam, Ahuja madam, Simran, and all of you here are like LIC, Zindagi ke saath bhi, Zindagi ke baad. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
God bless. Thank you, Gauri.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gauri ma'am. You are
Okay.
wonderful, Gauri ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for all your efforts, Gauri ma'am.
I would just like to, in the end, end it up by saying that anybody, if your children want to go for cultural exchange, please contact Lions Club, because I have recommended many names, and even government gives subsidy. So why not, if the children like to go, and it's a wonderful experience they can have. And it was really a very wonderful session. And Sanjay sir, your valuable inputs will be very memorable to us, as well as Simran ma'am. Your journey of culture is really going to be so much always in our minds. And it's a really wonderful journey we had today. And we are really going to count your inputs, whatever we have got today. And surely we'll be welcoming you again and again with different subjects, as you all are multifaceted personalities, both of you all. Thank you once again. We're really honored and proud that you all have been today. Today's perfect. Jai Hind.
Gauri
Jai
ma'am,
Maharashtra.
Jai Maharashtra. Gauri ma'am, I must say that you are organizing this very passionately. I am absolutely impressed by your passion on organizing
Thank
this.
you.
In fact,
Thank
I
you,
was,
sir.
let me
Thank you,
confess
sir.
this. Let me confess
Yeah.
this. I had delayed submitting my picture, profile, etc.,
No
etc.
problem, sir.
But Gauri did work and took it from the internet, etc. So I must confess here, since I spoke on governance, I must admit, I'm sorry, Gauri, to have put you into a lot of trouble.
No, please.
But thank
You
you
all
so
are
much
coming,
for this
giving your valuable
opportunity.
time. That is important. That is
No,
important. with your
but
valuable-
I must confess that Gauri is doing this very, very passionately. And I've
Thank
seen
you,
her
sir. Thank
in
you.
the last 2 weeks since the time she has did the very first episode. So Gauri,
Thank you
please
so
keep
much.
it up. And I
Thank
wish there
you.
were several other Gauris who could continuously do such programs so that everybody gets benefit out of it. Thank you very much.
Really honored, sir. I'm very honored.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sanjay ji, it
Thank
was
you.
truly a pleasure
Thank
being with you on the same, absolutely same page, on the same arena. Absolutely wondrous hearing from you, Sanjay ji. And thank
I
you.
do
Ms. Gauri.
reciprocate. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Such
you.
an honor, sir. Thank you.
Such a-
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Simran. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much. You were so
much.
lovely, so well you spoke. Thank you so
So
much.
kind of you. Thank you. Thank you for your kindness.
Thank you, everybody. And next week we'll
Thank
meet again,
you.
everybody. All of us next week. Please take care, be safe, be positive. God bless everybody.